So before we begin, the first thing you're gonna need is Blender and Photoshop. Obviously, Photoshop is a paid program, so an alternative would be Photopea if you don't want to go and try to find a free version of Photoshop. I think this one has more limitations than Photoshop, but if it really comes down to it, you can use this. It'll be in the description. The first two links in the description, it'll be Load Character Lite, which basically means you can upload your own character into Roblox Studio. And the second thing will be Load Catalog Items. This will basically allow you to upload random accessories from the catalog into Studio so you don't have to buy them and equip them on your avatar. So to begin, let's open Roblox Studio. This program comes with Roblox when you install it, and if you don't, just go to Google, search up Roblox Studio. And then when you open it, click Base Plate. Then you want to go all the way top left, click plugins, and then load character. Here, you want to just get rid of this and just type in your username. Select spawn at origin and spawn R6. So you can watch my keybinds top left what I click. In Studio, you can use WASD and QE to go up and down and around. So we can get rid of this spawn location. Click on the character so he's highlighted. Go to home, move, and then move the green arrow up once so you're down the middle. So the next thing you want to do is if you click on your username here and the little drop box, you can see all of your accessories. So for example, I'm going to be removing a lot of these, such as this one. Oh, what is that? Okay, that's my hair. So this is the little cross. This is the eyes, hair, hoodie. I'm going to keep the earrings, necklace, and then rope glasses. Okay, I'm going to keep all of these. So we can start with the clothing. You can click here and then click on shirt. Bottom here, you'll see shirt template if you click the drop down, and then you just put a link of a clothing. For example, I'll be using this one, and then you just copy link, go to Roblox Studio, paste that in with Control V, click enter, and there you go. Same goes for pants. You just copy it, click on pants, paste the ID in, click enter, and there you go. Now to put accessories is going to be a little harder. You go back to plugins and then load catalog items. Here you just paste the ID and not the entire link. For example, I'll be using this straw hat. So you just want to copy this number right here, go back in, enter it, click load. You can close this by clicking load catalog items again. And then if you click on your item, you should see where it is with the arrows. They spawn randomly, but then you can just drag it towards here. Obviously, you put it up and down, left and right until you get it down the middle. If something like this happens and then you're not able to get it down the middle, you can always hold shift and then you can move it. There we go. I think that's down the middle, maybe a little here. But if your accessory is rotated, such as mine, you can click back to home and here you have rotate. The green one will go around, I guess, is the best explanation for it. The red will go forward, up and back, and then the blue will go sideways. So if you need to do the rotations, and then again, click on move, and then just gonna put it down a little, maybe a little lower. I think this will be fine. Obviously, if you really want to, you can put it up enough so the hair isn't visible, so it looks cleaner. For me, what I'm going to be doing is from the back, so it doesn't really matter. The hair is going to stick out from the back. I can't really do much about that. Otherwise, it's going to end up looking weird. Control Z to go like undo. If you do something really badly and you want to just put it back, instead of doing it manually, you can click Control Z, and it's going to go back. We're going to go put in the next thing. I'm going to copy the ID again, go to plugins, load item, like so. Then I'm going to select it, and then there we go. It's up here. So again, you can customize it as you wish. I'm going to put it up here. I think it's backwards. Okay, this one is sideways. Again, go home, rotate, and just rotate it like so. There we go. And now we just move it down. Here should be fine. I think that looks fine. You could also click 1, 2, 3, 4 to switch between the modes if you find that easier. Okay, so I think I'm done here. Now, what we do is make a folder somewhere. Let's right-click on our username, save and export, export selection. Now, I'm going to be pasting it into the tutorial. You can name it anything you want. I'm just going to name it my username. Now, what we do is open this. Then select your head accessories. As you can see, I have a little chain here that's not visible anymore because of the cape. but we're not going to select that with the head, because if you move the head, all the accessories are going to move with it in Blender, and then that's going to include the chain. So basically just don't pair them up. So I'm going to select my hair, my other hair, my earrings, and the glasses. Then we're also going to open these up so that it reveals the little hat. Click this one because that's a mask that goes on the face. Select these as well, and then we're going to right click, save export, export selection. Here, we're going to make a folder. I'm just going to name it head accessories. Go inside the folder, and I'm just going to name this head. Now, you can right click and delete all of these. We don't need them anymore. Now, the last things that are left are my back accessory and the chain. Now, what we do is you can separate them and just export them one by one, but I'm going to export them both. We're going to click this and this, save export. Here, we go back. We make a new folder. Name this back accessories. Name this back, click enter and save. There we go. So now we're done in the studio. So you can just close this, or you can click Control Z to bring back all the accessories, and then you can exit and click save. I personally do not save, so just close. Next thing you do is download Blender. It'll be one of the links in the description. You just click download Blender, or you just click one of these if you're on Windows, Mac, Linux, Steam. And then once you download it, there will be another link. That will be the Roblox rig. So when you download it, you will have a zip file, and inside will be a faceless and a default. Faceless basically means faceless, but default will have eyes and a mouth that you can control. That would be for animations and stuff like that. I personally don't need it, so we're going to go with faceless. Once you've extracted it, you're going to open it up. Now here, you're going to have to use your scroll wheel to zoom in, zoom out, and also look around. It's absolutely different to Roblox Studio. If you click WASD, that's probably going to click keybinds that I do not know what they do. But what you do is left click the head, go down here to material. It'll be a red circle. Right here it says base color texture. We're going to click the drop down and then click X right here, click open. And then right here, if you go to the folder that you exported everything in, you should have a handle, and then you can see it's a texture. If you double click that, it'll be your clothing texture. Now, to put in your accessories, you're going to go to file top left. You're going to import wavefront. Now, we're going to make our way to head accessories, or you can do back. It's up to you. And then upload your name.obj. We're going to upload that, and there you go. Now, if we click RZ180 and click enter, it's going to rotate 180 degrees because the front is here and not there. But when the accessories come in, they look the other way. You should have your accessories already selected, but you can still click it. And then right here, click the orange box. Then you're going to click relations, and then parent to, we're going to type in head. Now we can bring in our back accessories the same exact way, but here we delete head accessories from the location, make our way into back.obj. Again, click RZ, type in 180, enter. Okay, I messed something up. RZ180. There we go. If something is not in place, you could always just click and just move them around. But I'm pretty sure, yeah. If something is not in line, you can always just put it however you like. On the side, we have rotate, and then we have move. But the move is at the bottom, unfortunately. Since we exported the head being right there, you're not supposed to do anything with it. If you want to have more control, you export the accessories while they're here at the bottom. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. Now, there's a problem. Personally, I don't know how to attach the back accessory to the actual torso. You can click this right here, the parent, and then you can click on either main mesh torso, but I'm pretty sure when you click the outlines to animate, and then you select one of these, it will not move with it, as you can see. So when I move my character, the back does not move. Now, the posing is up to you, but you can animate it as R6. So basically just moving the top of the limb and not touching the torso, because that's going to make the character bend. And obviously R15 is the thing you can bend, such as this, even the legs. So if you don't want to do R15, you could always just move this. You could also move your arms anywhere you would like, but obviously you don't want to make it too far away from the body, otherwise it's going to look unnatural. So I'm going to do a normal regular standing pose. I'm just going to move the legs a little bit like so. I'm also gonna want to have a sword, so I'm gonna turn my arm this way and then just bend it. Obviously not everything is visible because I'm gonna do this from the back, and I'm gonna turn my arm this way. Oh, by the way, if you're not able to animate, you could always just click pose mode right here. If you're in object mode, everything is going to be black and yellow. But if you click and then select from object mode to pose mode, everything should have a color. And then you just start moving it by using these two. And do not use these because it's going to make everything longer, stretchier. Obviously, if you want that, you can, but I wouldn't recommend using transform. I feel like it looks a little off. I'm just going to move the legs off a little bit. Like so. So they don't look too together from the bottom. So here I'm just doing a regular pose. I think this will be just fine. If you want to add objects into this or whatever you're planning to do, you can go online and search for free Blender models. I think it's called Sketch something. That one's a free site. That one's really good. You don't have to log in, nothing. You just look for what you want and you download it. I recommend not downloading blend files because they can be sometimes weird to use. But if you end up using a blend file, you can go to File, Link, and then find your blend file and add a collection. But I'm personally just going to use import.fbx. Right here, I got a katana dot or underscore txt for some reason. I'm just going to double click it. It's going to load. There we go. Now, if your object might look a little off, maybe it's too small, maybe way too big, you could always just click the thing I told you not to on the Roblox avatar. And here you can customize it however you like. If you want it to be longer by up or maybe back, maybe the side is too thick, too whatever, you can grab the white circle and just extend it outwards. That will make everything even and it'll stretch out. Personally, mine is fine, so I'm just going to put it where I need it to be. I think here is just fine. I'm just going to put it on my hip, make sure it's not going through my cloak. Now, the next thing to do is go back into object mode, go to add, and let's add a light sun. Move this out of the way so it's not in the way of our rig. We're going to click this button top right, viewport shading. This basically shows what light there is in here. So we're going to select this light that we have, and we're going to go to this green light bulb. I'm going to set the strength to maybe 5. As you can see, the light is coming from up top. If you really want to, you can go ahead and just move this around to make the sun shine different ways like this. Maybe you want it there. When you move it, the line there moves too. So that's where the sun is shining. I'm not going to be touching any of this. I'm just going to set the angle to higher. That basically means that's going to light up everything. If you really want to go more in detail, like making your character a little blue on the side, a little red on the other side, you just go to add light and you're going to add point. This, you're going to put maybe to the side here, wherever you want it to. Set the strength. Right now it's 10. I'd say maybe 100. Okay, 100 might be a little much. Oh, that's 1,000. And then here, the color, you can change it to whatever you want. And then, so you don't have to do much work. You just click this, Control C, Control V, and then move it onto this side. And then you can set this one to red. Okay, it's set the wrong side to red. You have to select it, but there you go. You have red on this side, yeah, and then not yellow, blue on this side. Obviously, I don't need this. I only need the sun and the angle set to 180. If you want the shading to be done for you, then you can just put this to around 100. If the strength will be harder. There we go. As you can see, there's like shading under the samurai hat that I have. So you don't have to do any work. But I'm going to put it all the way so it does put a shadow. Or I mean, does not put a shadow. So now that we're done with everything, you're going to want to go here to render. I'm going to turn on ray tracing because it gives more shadows. I think it looks nicer. But you have to go to film and click transparent. Then we make our way to output, change the file format to PNG, RGBA, and 16. I think this rig is meant for animations, but this makes it a PNG file. Now, the last thing we have to do is go to add, camera. I'm going to right click and then set active camera. It's also, you can also click numpad 0. So now that you see there's an orange highlight, if you don't have it selected, it's not going to be orange, but if you click, it's going to be orange. Now you're going to click shift and the little button under escape key. Now you can move around with WASD and again, E and Q. You can scroll wheel up to go faster. Scroll wheel down to go slower. If you hold shift, it'll speed up. So right now, I'm just going to put the camera right here, I think is fine. So when you put your camera down, you just want to left click and then click F12. Here, it'll show what the render will look like. I'm starting to notice the sword isn't really noticeable, so I'm just going to tilt it. There we go. So again, we could click F12. And there we go. Now we can see the sword a bit better. So now what we do is click image, click save. At the bottom, you can rename it to whatever you want. I'm just going to name it GFX. Get rid of the PNG. And then here you can save it anywhere you want. I'm just going to save it into the tutorial folder, save as image. There we go. So now if you go to your folder, you'll have a PNG file. And there you go. So the next thing to do is either go to Photopea or Photoshop. You can save this if you want. I'm personally not gonna. So when you open Photoshop, you want to click File and then click New. This will make a new project. You don't really want to touch anything here. Just make the width 1920 and height by 1080. We just click Create. This will give us a canvas. So the first thing we do is drag our character in here. Now you can resize it however you want. You click the check mark when you're done. So as you can see, you can only select this part. But once you click Ctrl T, you can resize it however you want. You can move it, do whatever you want. But I'm just going to click cancel because I want it there. You're going to want to add a background because you don't want to look at this white background here. I'm personally going to add this image right here. I think looks pretty nice. Size it up. Click check mark. And then here on the right side, we want layers. We want the character to be on top of the image. So right here, I'm a little too small, seems like. So I'm just going to put myself here. Zoom out by holding Alt and then scroll wheel. Size, oh, oopsies, size myself up a little. Maybe tilt myself as well. If you go to the corner here, you see your cursor changes. Now what we want to do is add shadows to our character. How we do that is we're going to make right here, we're going to click this. We're going to go to exposure. And right here, you have two windows. This is the mask that I will talk about later. And these are the settings. Remember that. Now we're going to put the exposure down. As you can see, the image is getting darker. I'm going to put this to like -3, I think should be fine. Make sure the exposure layer is above your character. Then in between them, you're going to hold Alt and you're going to left click. So now, as you can see, it darkened my character because it's linked to my character. So now what we do is we're going to go to the mask layer that's white. We're going to hold Control, click I. That's going to invert the mask. Now, make sure, click B. And then on the left side, as you can see, I have black and white. If your colors are different, say one is red and then the other one is... Okay, let's just say that it looks like that, okay? You're going to want to click on it. You're going to select one to be fully white. Click OK. Then click X to switch them. Select the top one again, and then select this to be black. Now, I'm going to quickly explain what this layer is. So as you can see, the layer is fully black now, meaning I have to draw in white. So if you click X, you see on the left side, it switches color. So now I'm drawing in white. So as you can see, it's changing the color of my character because I'm drawing. So if we're going to just start drawing really harshly across the screen, as you can see, the mask went from black to a line of white because that's how I drew it. That's basically revealing what's under, if that makes sense. Right now, everything is black, so everything is not seen. For example, if we unlink this, I can draw anywhere and make it dark. But if we link it, then it's only going to be on my character. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to click B to get your brush out. We're going to right click. And you want to go to General Brushes and go for Soft Round. To make it smaller or bigger, you just want to hold Alt and then hold the right click. And as you can see, if you move it left and right, it's going to get bigger or smaller. So right now, I don't think I need anything big. So I'm just going to put it like this. And now we're going to put shadows. Now, to know where the shadows are is a little hard. The sun is right there, so it makes sense for everything to be darker here. But we're going for in-depth shadows first. So I'm just going to draw on here. Obviously, it's a little rough, but as you can see, if you look from further, it makes a big difference. I'm also going to draw between the legs like that, but be careful not to go too much on the cape. And as you can see, it gives it a little bit of depth. Also, I would recommend putting it on the feet like that. It's not really noticeable. If you turn this on and on, you can see there's obviously starting to be a difference. What I like to do also is For example, I have stuff here. I'm just going to draw around it to make it seem like it's actually stuck on the on the on the texture. I can't really speak. Also, don't forget to change the flow. I forgot to do that. You want to change that to like 10%, meaning when you start drawing, it's going to start off really slow. So here we go. As you can see, the more you move it, the darker it gets. Obviously, I've done this way too rough, so let me try again. So we just draw around like this. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, but I still prefer to have it there. Maybe these lines too. This obviously isn't needed, and you might not have the same, but I like to draw on the texture to make it seem like it's actually there. So there's not much for me to do here, but as you can see, I just put a little shadow here that I accidentally just deleted, like so. Now, if we turn this on and on, you can see there is a difference. I'm also seeing that I drew on the cape here a little. So I'm going to click X to switch to black and just get rid of this. There we go. So it puts in a little bit of depth, but the biggest is down here. Now, we're going to make a big shadow on the ground. How we do that is we have our character. We're going to duplicate it by clicking Control J. We have a copy now. I'm going to name this to shadow. You can double click the text and then put it to something. I'm going to name this shadows. I'm going to drag the duplicated layer under the jigsaw one. So now what we want to do is select the shadow, click Control T. First, you want to hold Shift and go down the middle to shrink it. Oh, actually, a smart thing would probably be first to invert it. So if we click Control T, right click, and then flip horizontal. No, vertical. And now we put it down. We're going to try to match it. So obviously I've rotated it. I'm going to rotate it back. It's a little hard to align, but there we go. This should be fine. We're going to stretch it by holding Shift and the top right here and put it like so. It looks a little weird now. But trust the process. If you notice your character getting stuck on things when you move your mouse, you can hold Control to have complete control. Line it up. I think that should be fine. So I just click the check mark. Now what we do is click on the shadow layer and double click it. Make sure it's empty. Don't click on the text, so that's going to rename it. And then we're going to turn on color overlay. We're going to select black. Click OK. Click OK. Close out of it. And here, you want to lower down the opacity. Make sure you have the shadow selected. You're going to just put down the opacity. I think this looks fine. 20% is probably fine. So we always have a shadow. Most people would be happy with this. But we're going to click on the shadow again. Go to Filter, Blur Gallery, and go for Field Blur. Now, what this is we can put the blur all the way down right here. I'm going to place a little thing here. Then you left click to add another one. I'm also going to set the blur here to 0. And then right here, I'm just going to click and leave it. This basically blurs it. As you can see, when you move the point, that blurs it. I'm going to place one here. I'm going to place one here. Maybe here. Give it a bit more blur. Okay, maybe 15 is a little much. I'm going to set this to 5. You can obviously put a Gaussian blur and you might be just happy with that alone. But me personally, I would want this to be blurred and then this not blurred. Okay, so that's 2 shadows done. First is the one to make your character more in depth and the ground. But we are not done. What we're going to do now is add a solid color. So again, click this. Solid color. We're going to make this black. So we get a layer mask with this. We're just going to click on it. Click Control I to invert it. I'm going to put it just under my character here. Click back on the mask. And now here we can draw again. Make everything a little darker. So because we're touching the ground here, we want to make this as dark as possible. You can easily mess up the steps, so just be careful. It's just directly under the foot, none here, like so. So as you can see, this already makes it look better, but I'm gonna just make it bigger. Maybe this looks fine. Maybe on the sides I went a little too harsh. So now it already looks like we might be standing there. Though a problem is that I made it a little bad because you see these flowers on the ground. So that means the shadow would be interacting with them. But right now it's very still. So now what we want to do is add the highlights. As you can see, the sun is right there. So the outline should be light. Now, how we do that is, again, we're going to go down here. We're going to add exposure. Actually, on second thought, let's not add exposure. Let's add hue and saturation. And here we're going to click colorize. We're going to want to make this a little yellow. If you don't know what the sun looks like, you can click the eye icon down here to disable the hue and saturation we just put on. As you can see, everything is a little reddish, pinkish. The sun is orange-ish. So we enable that back. We make it a little darker. I think like that. It's missing a little bit of orange. Okay, so now I'm going to name this highlights orange. I'm going to put that above, and then we're going to link it by holding Alt, click. So here I'm fully yellow, so we're going to click the mask, Control I. Again, we're just going to draw around, see how that looks like. I feel like it's a little too yellow. Go back in the settings, make it lighter, I think. Like that. That looks good. Obviously, don't make the edges come out too much because the sun is in front. So I'm just going to delete all of this to around 25 and just go along the edge like that. Put it along the sword on the edge. I want to put a bunch here because it's going through the katana. Make sure not to leave any gaps. Okay, that's a little much, I think. Also, the bigger the brush, the bigger it's going to leave. As you can see, it reaches all the way here and it doesn't do that much. But the smaller it is, you'll see that it doesn't really have... As you can see, that's the difference. It's a good thing I don't have to explain. So I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to go on the outside of it. You can always zoom out like that, see if anything looks off. I'm still not a fan of the shadow. Something about the shadow is not it. Maybe it's not dark enough. I'm not sure, but as you can see, it's starting to come together. I definitely had a better idea for this, but you know, we make it work. What we can also do, as you can see, it's very harsh along the edge. What we can do is double click an empty box here. Go to blending right here, underlying layer. We're going to hold Alt, just drag this. As you can see, it makes some of that orange disappear. Now, what that does is it sees black under and it doesn't affect it that much. That could work on anything. For example, if I were to do this here, as you can see, it goes fully orange. But if we add that setting by separating this, as you can see, it brings back that texture. So as you can see, it looks much better. Obviously, the light isn't supposed to be there, but 70 for me is fine. But I'm pretty sure everyone is going to have different options for this. So now you can patch anything up if you would like. If something looks off, you could always just change it right here. Like you can get rid of the shadows if it doesn't look correct. The shadow here, for some reason, has stuff here. I'm not sure. So I'm going to finish this one up and we'll see how it turns out. Now, if everything looks good to you, then the last thing you can do is select the bottom, hold Shift, select the top, click Control J, and then instantly Control E. This will create a file with everything inside of it. And then you can go up to Filter, Camera Raw Filter. And here is where you can have a lot of fun with everything. Obviously, mine looks a little weird because I made my character oversized over the canvas so you can see over it. If that just happens, you could just zoom in or ignore it. Like that. And then here we start off with basic. We can change the color of stuff. Why is there a blue here? Anyways, ignore that blue, those blue pixels. I don't know what that is. You can set the temperature to whatever you want. Make it colder, make it brighter. Not brighter, like warmer. I'm just going to make this colder. I prefer blue in all of my GFX. You can put the exposure down, contrast high, or maybe lower. Here you can put the texture up or down. I wouldn't put it all the way because it brings so much texture that it makes it look really weird. If you want your GFX to look better, I guess you could go for it. But I'm going to leave this at 0. Here at the curve, I personally wouldn't do anything because everything has already been done in basic, all of the lightning. But obviously, if you want to mess around with it, you can. I usually don't touch this. Same with detail. You can put it up if you want to, but as you can see, my image is losing a lot of resolution. So I'm just going to leave this at 0. Put noise reduction up, but it's gonna, as you can see, it smooths out your thing. So I wouldn't touch this either unless you need to. Color mixer, here you can start changing some of the colors. As you can, these are the reds. I'm personally gonna leave it because it makes the colors start looking weird. I'm gonna leave everything here for now because I want it to look as natural as possible. Color grading, here I like to mess around with stuff, make everything blue. But as of now, I think it's fine. I'm not going to be touching anything. With distortion, I'm not really sure. You could change it. It makes it seem like your FOV is higher. I'm personally probably not going to change it. I think I'm fine with that. Vignette is the thing that make the edges darker. You could do that if you want. I might also put a little bit. I don't know what geometry that is. I don't touch that. Grain, this is where you make your image look grainy. Obviously, you don't put on that much, but as you can see, I'm going to leave mine off. Vignetting, this is the same thing. Makes the edges darker. I don't know why there's 2 settings of that. Calibration, here is where you also change colors of everything, all of the reds and what saturation they're at. Again, I'm trying to keep it natural, so I'm probably not going to touch many of these. So when you're done, you click OK. And as you can see, your image changes and you can switch in between both of them to see what changed. There's obviously a big difference if you do your images correctly. And now you have this layer right here, which is the final thing. And then these, you can still configure if you really wanna. Something's wrong with the highlights, delete them. And again, you just select them, Control J, Control E, and then you put the thing up again, say camera raw filter, and there you go. Now it does not have the highlights, but obviously we do need the highlights. So now you can go the extra mile and add hue and saturation again. Put the same exact thing here. We're gonna add a little thing like so. You can obviously make it bigger if you'd like. As you can see, it adds a little bit of a glow. Now we can duplicate this with Control J. Get rid of this. Okay, that's the wrong brush. Just get rid of it. And now if you go to Google and search up Photoshop lens flare brushes, you can download them, install them, and then you can have stuff like this. As you can see, it makes a line right here through the entire canvas, which makes it look really nice. Obviously, there's different ones like this one. I don't know if this one is good though. Yeah, this one's not good. There's different ones you can experiment with. As you can see, it makes it shine a bit more. And if you look from far away, it looks starting to look really nice. It's not starting to. It already has been looking nice. And obviously, you can rename them. This one is just a glow. I'm going to name this Sun Glow. Name this Lens Flare. You can name them so you don't get lost. For example, this is highlights orange. So you just look at it and see what it is. These are shadows. It's linked to jig size. Exposure, I didn't name this one, but I know that this one is jig size shadow. And then this is the actual shadow, the fully copied one. Obviously, you don't see me change it because we have this on. As you can see, changes. But that'll be about it. If you really want to, you can add more effects. You can add another lens flare. You can add your own light from somewhere. Maybe you want to add like a lamppost, make a light above your head and that it shines down. It's really up to you where you take it. But if this tutorial helped or you enjoyed watching it at least, make sure to let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe. Hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or evening. And I hope to see you in my next video, maybe. Okay, take care.